Hello everyone, welcome back to Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. In the last part we went through the Forest of Doom, and in this part we will be doing some castle exploration as well as some backtracking and side questing. In the last part we got the Toad Morph, which allows us to turn into a frog. And now for this quest, you have to put in the martial art skill 3 times in a row. It's quite hard to do on an Xbox 360 controller D-pad, which is why I temporarily changed to keyboard controls. And yeah, so basically all you do is do the martial art 3 times, and then you finish that side quest. And then there's another one where you have to input another command. If you're wondering why it sounds out like that a bit, it's because I was changing my controls. Now again, the martial art that we learned there, the new one, is pretty useless. It's another one where it's like it takes too much to execute and it doesn't, do enough. As for these 2 quests, mental training, they give you more max MP. The first one you have to deplete all of your MP in order to finish it. The second one you need to pick up thick glasses, which we found very, very early on.
I'll make you a deal.
And here we just have some new spells for Charlotte, as well as some new skills for Jonathan.
Thank you.
Here I'm showing off the Toad Morph, how it works. You become a tiny frog and you can go through narrow spaces like that. It's kind of like with the slide kick, except that now you can go up, stairwells or small spaces instead of just the ones where whatever. As for that, whenever I move through a place to show whatever without showing all the traveling, I will just sort of do a screenshot of where I'm at and put an arrow on the map to show you guys where I'm going, and so you know where you can find the stuff that I'm collecting. And what we just got was the Milliken sword. It's the one I'm using right now. It has a chance to turn enemies to stone, although it is pretty low. I don't think we'll see it in this video. Actually, I'm not a huge fan of the swords that inflict status ailments, because they don't tend to be very reliable, and they often have much lower stats than a stronger weapon. Here showing off the rocket slash, which is I think I've shown it off before, but I just decided to show it off again. and that's most of what we can do in the City of Haze. There are some hidden areas, closed up walls and such that we will be looking at later on, but for now we won't be bothering with that because we are lacking one other movement upgrade to fully explore the City of Haze. We will, however, be going to the Nation of Fools again to collect the statue's tier, which is a side quest that we just picked up actually in this part. Well, I mean, you should know, you're watching the video. But for this one, it is quite simple. The thing you are looking for is in the lower left corner of the Nation of Fools, so it should not be that hard actually. Right here in this room, we have this statue here. When you examine it, it starts bleeding or crying blood, and you get the statue's tear, which is quite weird. I don't know, I mean, it's not really explained what the statue's doing there, or you know, if that's any ties to either Bronner or the painting worlds. It's just weird. I don't know. If you examine the statue before picking up the quest, Jonathan and Charlotte will remark that it is a strange statue, and I mean, they're very right. It is a very weird statue. But yeah, that's about it. That quest isn't very difficult at all. It's basically just go there, examine the statue, and then you can go back, pick up your quest reward. As for here, I guess I cut out some time just going back and forth, but yeah. Oh yeah, we have to go back into the Nation of Fools. Well, we actually don't, but I'm showing this off anyways. There is an item here that we can pick up. I mistook it for another item, but the item you can get here is still pretty good. Not the touch and pop, but yeah, you'll see in just a while. There's a quest called I remember what it's called, but it's basically have Charlotte equip 3 Nuns items, and we actually already have 2 out of the 3 items. I thought that this item was part of the set, but it appears that it really isn't. But nonetheless, the Holy Veil is still a very good equipable item for Charlotte. We actually already picked up both the Nun's Habit and the Nun's Shoes. The only thing that's left is that we need to pick up the robes. Now back in the City of Haze, yeah, you can see where I was there. There is a secret area around this place but it's actually, well, you'll see where it is. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. You see it's a weird little notch on the ground there. And it opens up a hole if you hit it with a weapon that goes downwards, or like the axe. And then we get down here, but there's also a hidden wall in here where we find the paper airplane sub-weapon. It's kind of funny. I mean, you gotta give them props for getting a little creative with the sub-weapons, and it's like, paper airplane doesn't sound useful, and it actually isn't useful at all, but you know, still, you know, funny. I'm glad that they put in some stuff that's more like fun than just like, oh, super serious, you got axes and freaking bombs and stuff. Here we have the skull bartender. This is the only place you will see this monster, I believe. So, and he has one item drop, which is why I went back through here to grind for his item drop. The Tropical Sundae, basic healing item. There are a lot of healing items. They're just like, oh, that you get as drops from monsters. I guess it's because, you know, they wanted more monsters to have drops that weren't weapons and stuff. And here we get another co-op attack, which actually is the first one you can get. Either way, I will be showing off the rush attack, but not now. Basically, what it does is the rush attack basically has Jonathan and Charlotte doing basic attacks in not in unison, but they take turns doing it, and it's I mean it's not a very good co-op attack when you get all the other stuff, but you know, it's pretty okay for the first one. Although I did find the Holy Lightning one first. The Rush one is actually the first one that you can get because it is placed before the Holy Lightning, but if you don't explore, you will, you know, you probably won't get either of them, to be honest, because they're both kind of out of the way of the normal progress. And those two knives I just threw, that's the Kunimitsu. Basically 2 knives. And here we have another secret area, which contains the tuxedo coat, or tuxedo coat. It's it's, I mean, kind of whatever. It doesn't really do anything special, and its stats are, you know, it just gives defense and luck, which is, luck is good if you want better drops, or if you want better chance at getting rare drops. Which is why I am wearing it for the time being, because Jonathan has pretty bad luck, so you want to give him, you know, items that boost his luck so that you can get drops and stuff. And there we see that the only nun item we're missing is the nun's robes, which we will be picking up eventually. Otherwise, we're pretty much, we've done most of what we can do in the City of Haze. I know I said we did most of what we can do in City of Haze earlier in this very video, but to be honest, I was, you know, I'm a little bit lost, so, yeah. And now we're actually going to get the last part of the Nuns Outfit, or at least I think so. Yep, here we have the Nuns' robes in an hidden alcove above the Nation of Fools painting. And I sincerely apologize for being so lost. I realized that I could have done this in a better, more streamlined way, but to be honest, I'm playing this for the first time in a very long time. And I mean, I do use editing, but you know, I still try to do it as sequentially as possible so that it's not like, you know, so that even if I do go to City of Haze 2 times, you know, I don't edit down to 1 time, unless they're right after each other. I sincerely apologize if this inconveniences any of you viewers, but that's sort of the way I do this, at least for the time being. For now, we're just looking for hidden walls and secret openings and stuff. Like we have one here in the buried chamber, which contains an HP max up. I'm actually not sure how many of these there are in the game. I don't think there are too many actually, since I mean the game also relies on you leveling up and stuff to increase your max HP. There's not really a lot to say here. We've been through these areas before. It's just there's another hidden wall here, obviously. It contains the combat knife. Knives are a weapon we haven't really touched upon, because we haven't really gotten a lot of them. They function similar to fist weapons. They have slightly higher attack speed, I think. Depends on the weapon really, but they have slightly higher attack speed and range than fist weapons, or mostly just slightly higher range than fist weapons, but at the same time I'm not a huge fan of them. I prefer using fist weapons because they just feel, it's like the increase in range is so tiny that it really doesn't actually matter. It's pretty trivial actually. I mean, at the same time, I haven't tried out every knife weapon, or, you know, dagger weapon or whatever. So I can't say for sure whether or not, you know, they're better than all the fist weapons. Of course, we haven't really tried all the fist weapons yet either, so, you know, it's hard to say. Here's a sort of secret wall that has beef jerky in it. And, you know, it sort of goes back to the whole, oh, they hide food in walls, and that's kind of you know, it's kind of funny to me. Of course, I don't know. The beef jerky is not rotten. I don't know what the deal with that is. But yeah. For getting the statue's tear, you get holy water, which is a skill or a skill weapon that's been in every Castlevania since the first. What it does is you basically drop a bottle of holy water on the ground and it, you know, leaves a burning effect. That's really about it. There's, you know, it's pretty simple. It's more or less, you could use it in the first Castlevania games to cheese some bosses pretty hard, where you would basically stun lock them. In Castlevania 2, you could use a similar weapon, which created a flame pillar, to basically cheese the final boss. But Castlevania 2 was just kind of different, not super well designed. but it did lead to, you know, games like these being created. And there we picked up the Boomerang. It's, you know, it's pretty good. It's a decent enough weapon. Again, most of the sub-weapons outside of the, you know, the basic axe, knife, stuff like that, don't really hold a lot of, like, power. Like, I wouldn't be using the paper airplane or the, yeah, I wouldn't be using the paper airplane or the cream pie or whatever to, you know, take out enemies, because they're not that useful. Or the darts. Here I'm just using the combat knife, showing how quickly you can attack, and, you know, it's pretty fast. You can dole out a good number of hits in succession, and you can take out some minor enemies very quickly. Of course, for bigger enemies and long enemies with more health, I would rather use something more long range, since I would be focused on dodging and such. Here we find another co-op attack, which I will be showing off in the next part, I believe. Or maybe even in this part, I am not quite sure. But yeah, it's called the Axe Bomber. Basically what it does is that it creates like a tether between Jonathan and Charlotte, and then you sort of, once you initiate the attack, you basically catch the enemy and any enemies in front of you with that tether, but it's like, it's a very small distance, and then you do a sort of like a double attack on them, which does a lot of damage. It's quite useful. It doesn't cost too much MP to use either. So I mean, I like it a lot. At least in the early game. Once you get some more powerful co-op attacks, I'd rather be using those. But for the time being, it's pretty decent at doing, you know, damage. And now we're warping into another part of the castle, to the Tower of Death, to be precise, because we're going to go back to the Forest of Doom. To check out some stuff. Because there's actually some things we missed in here, as well as, yeah, there's just stuff we missed in here. Which is, you know, pretty ironic, considering that last part I said that, oh, we won't be going back here much, but after this we probably won't be going back here anymore. Otherwise, you know, same enemies, Killer Bees, Malachis, Red Axe Armors. I can't wait until we get the items to let us actually kill the red enemies, because they can be a huge pain in the ass. And, you know, obviously I went back to the Rose Stem Whip, because, well, I feel it's much better than the combat knife. It has better stats and better range. Of course, the combat knife is like the basic dagger weapon. It's the first, it's the first one that you're supposed to pick up, I think. So obviously it has very low stats, but you can get better dagger weapons in the Vincent's shop once you've cleared some areas. There's actually a quest later on to bring a beehive, which is basically if you destroy the beehive here, it may drop a beehive. Which, how that makes sense, I don't know, but I'm guessing it's like the honeycombs or something. Even though I don't think that these guys make honey, they look malicious as fuck. But yeah, so there's a quest to get a beehive, and you know, as per usual, I will be covering that, but just, you know, as a little tidbit, beehives can drop. Beehives. Sounds stupid. So freaking stupid. Oh my god. And I mean, we're just doing some minor exploration here to sort of clear out the map area. There's actually a secret area later on that doesn't open up unless you you have a certain amount of map cleared. We also pick up another weapon for Charlotte, another book where a horse, sort of cavalier, comes out. This one is a different elemental than the Don Quixote book, whereas the Don Quixote book is a fire element. I think that the Tristan and Isolde is either dark or light. I actually don't remember, but anyways, still fun to see how Charlotte gets different weapons in the form of books. With her main line of weapons being Tome of Arms, which is basically like the swords and axes stuff. And then, you know, having sort of side element weapons like Don Quixote and Tristan and Isolde. And obviously, all her weapons, except for the Tome of Arms, are based on, you know, famous sort of stories. Don Quixote, of course, is about a guy who wants to become a knight in shining armor and like defeat dragons and stuff, but he's sort of delusional. And he fights windmills because he thinks that windmills are dragons. It's, you know, it's pretty funny. I haven't really read it. I've read, like, I haven't read the original or anything, but I've, you know, seen movie adaptations and such. Otherwise,
I'll make you a deal.
yeah, that's all we can do in the Forest of Doom. Next time, we will be going through the upper right path of Dracula's castle. And yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you dislike this video, please leave a dislike and a comment. You're free to comment otherwise. If you like it, you know, comment whatever. But you know, just express, you know, what do you think of the video, and as such, you know, I will see you guys next time. Take care.